when there is pest, pest can affect agricultural products. Pests like ants, like rats, all of these are what? They are pests. So they can affect our agricultural product. When there is flood, let's say every rainfall, the flood is in everywhere. It affects our plants, even some houses, even some shops, where let's say a business that has a warehouse now, that they store products. There is now heavy rain, there is flood. Now flood enter the warehouse and destroy some product kept there. All of these will affect what? Supply, because it will destroy the product, and by destroying the product, what will happen? It will affect the product, and by affecting the product, it will decrease supply. So that is another determinant or factors of supply. Then we also have population of suppliers or firms. So when firms in an industry are earning supernormal profit, when we say supernormal, that is, they are earning a very high profit. Imagine you are earning more profit. Your profit is at high level. It will attract new firms. It's just like, let me say, Inechi is the only one selling, let's say she's selling shoes or wares or clothes. Now, Inechi is making profit, and I know very well what will happen. It will attract me too, that wow, if she can be making so profit, why can't I also go into such business? It will attract more firms into the industry. Are you getting it now? And that is if it is not already a monopoly. When we say monopoly is when we have many sellers selling similar products. That is monopoly. When we talk of oligopoly, that is when you have a single seller of a product in the market. So what we are saying is that population of supply, when we have many suppliers, what will happen? It means there will be what? There will be increase in supply. We have 10 people that are selling bags. So it means they have that capacity to what? To supply more. What only one person is, let's say only Inechi is the supplier in a particular area now, and our capacity is to produce 10 shoes now. The moment another person to join, let's say Clifford also join, Clifford cannot produce like 20. What will happen? It means it will increase the supply. It means there is now capacity to supply more. It means it is not only limit to Inechi alone now. We now have more suppliers too. And by having more suppliers, it will increase the supply of such products. Are you with me? But the moment we have low suppliers, or some are withdrawing, the other hand now, it means it will reduce supply. It will decrease supply. We don't have more capacity. We have little suppliers that can supply such products, so it will decrease supply. Now, before we move on, Clifford, any question from your end? Inechi, any question from your end? Before I ask my own question.
No question.
From your end, how about Clifford?
No question.
All right, so let me ask my questions. I want you to list what are the determinants of supply that we mentioned so far. Let's go. Clifford, 1, 2.
My network.
Okay. Let's move on to types. I was asking what are the determinants of supply, those ones you were able to hear. All right, let's move on
Commodities,
to types of. Okay, I'm with you. Thought your network is
commodities,
fluctuating.
commodities on price,
Okay, okay.
price of price of other goods and
Nechi.
services, and supplier inflation.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Nechi. Yeah, their own too.
We have the weather and other natural
People has mentioned everything.
weather. Weather.
Very much. I love that. So let's move on to types of supply. So types of, just as we have types of demand, we also have types of supply. We have joint supply. What is joint supply? We say products have joint supply when the supply of one product is associated with the supply of other products. We said a product has joint supply when the supply of one of the products is associated with the supply of other products. The other goods are seen as byproducts of the main product supply. Now, what we are saying here is that when we say when we talk about joint supply, we're talking about one of it is like we now have two products. Now, one of the products is associated with the supply of the other. That is, the second one is a byproduct of the main one. Like I mentioned earlier on, we have hide and beef or beef and hide. That is leather. You know, I told you leather. We also have palm oil and palm kernel. We have gas and coke. So palm oil, that is, you can get palm oil from palm kernel. Anything that makes you to have palm kernel, it means what you are expecting is what? Palm oil. That is an example of joint supply. Then we also have competitive supply. So what is competitive supply? This entails the supply of goods and services which can most easily be produced with the resources at the firm's disposal. So competitive supply are supply of goods and services that are easy to produce. That is with the firms or suppliers what? Resources. So these are goods that can easily be what? Be produced. In a situation whereby we have many suppliers, let's say we have many suppliers, a monopoly system. So it means they can be easily what? Easily produced. If you don't get it from A, you can easily get it from B. If you don't get it from C, you can easily get it from D. That is what I'm trying to say. That is, you can easily have access to it. If this one does not have, does not mean that you can have access from it from another person. That is competitive supply. Now let's look at market determination of equilibrium price and quantity. Market determination of equilibrium price and quantity. In the competitive market, the determination of market price and quantity is determined by the market mechanism. We mentioned this last week too. So what is market mechanism? Market mechanism is the process by which the market forces of demand and supply interact to establish a market price and determine the quantity of a commodity exchange in a market. So what we are saying here is that market determination, that is the price and quantity demanded or quantity that will be supplied, are determined. These prices are determined. It's not just a price that anybody can just determine anyhow. Those prices are determined by the forces of demand and supply. By what? The prices are determined by market forces of demand and supply. That is, they interact together to establish at what price are they willing to sell and at what quantity are they willing to what? To exchange in the market. So that is what we call market determination. That is, market determination means price determination and quantity determination. And all of these things are determined by the forces of demand. And so you can be asked in exam, it can come as an objective question or a theory, that who determine the price and quantity demand of a commodity. So you can see it in the option. So it is the market mechanism that determine. And what is that market mechanism? Forces of demand and supply. So let's move to our next slide, where we have a demand schedule. This demand schedule will explain market determination now. Now, I need to mention something too before we move on. We have equilibrium price. I expect one of you to ask me this. What is equilibrium price? Please take note. Equilibrium price is the price at which the demanded is equal to quantity supply. Please take note of that. And the supplier was agree together. Elechi, Clifford, did you get what I just said now?
No, please come again.
Okay. I'm talking about equilibrium price.
Wait, is it my network?
Let's let's go.
Okay.
Sorry, my disconnection from my network. Please can you confirm you can hear me? My network fluctuates. So sorry. Please can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
So sorry, I had a disconnection from my network. So I was saying, I was explaining equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. This is a question you can be asked in exam. Now, what is equilibrium price? Please take note. Equilibrium price is the price at which both the consumer and the supplier agree to buy and to sell. Did you get that? Please confirm you can hear me. I can't hear anything.
Yes, I can hear you.
Did you get the explanation?
Yes, yes.
So equilibrium price is the price at which a consumer, that is consumer that demand, and someone that also want to sell, they both agree together. It's like me saying that, Clifford, I want to buy sugar. That is my own demand. Clifford now said, okay, the sugar is 15 naira, I can buy. That 15 naira is what we call equilibrium price. Is the price at which both the supplier and the consumer agree to buy and sell. That is for price. Now, what is equilibrium quantity? Equilibrium quantity is the quantity at which this demand and the supply agree to what? To buy and to sell too. So one is focusing on price, the other is focusing on what? Quantity. Please take note of that. Now, what is equilibrium itself? What is equilibrium itself? Equilibrium is the point. Please look at here. Look at the board. Look at where I want to type now. Equilibrium now equals to situation whereby quantity demand equals to quantity supply. Can you see my screen?
As long as they are. Yes.
So this is equilibrium. Equilibrium what? Point. Equilibrium point is a situation whereby quantity demanded is the same thing as quantity supplied. That is, they are equal. I'm saying this because of the next slide. Now let's move on to the next slide. Demand schedule and demand and supply schedule of cement. Now these are the prices. We have the prices here. We have the quantity demanded. Don't forget this is cement. That is bags. Quantity demanded. Look at the quantity supply here on this column. Now, this is SS bag. I'm coming there. Now, what is the price that you can see here, Nechi? Please, let's be active. Please. We are almost ending the class, but I want us to be active. Very important. So what prices can you see on the screen here?
1,000.
Thank you, Clifford. So we have 1,000 naira here. The price is in naira. So what is the quality demand there? So it means when the price is 1,000 naira, the quantity demand is 120. And the quantity supply is what? 0. So we have what we call SS. We have SS. What do you mean of SS? SS means the quantity demand is higher than the quantity supply. Clifford, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
So what I want you to take note there is that excess demand, you can have what we call excess demand. Look at the type of excess. You can have excess demand and you can have excess supply. What is excess demand? Excess demand is a situation whereby the quantity demanded of a commodity is higher than the quantity supply. Did you get that? Excess demand is a situation whereby quantity demanded of a commodity is higher than quantity supply. Here now, we demand for 120, but they supply what? 0. So which means quantity demand is higher than quantity supply. In that situation, you can write it like this. You can say QD is what? Greater than, where is my greater than sign? Greater than, let me look for a symbol. Sorry? is greater than. Okay, you can just say quantity demanded. Let me write it. Is greater than. Is greater than what?
Quantity supply.
That is what? Excess demand. Now let's look at the next row. We have quantity demanded as what? 100. What is the quantity supply? 20. What we are having here is in units. Don't forget this quantity. What we are having here is also in units. So I demand for 100. They supply me 20. In that situation, quantity demand is higher than quantity supply. What do we have here? Excess demand. Are you with me?
Yes.
Then the next row we have, I demand for 80. When I demand for 80, they supply me what? 40. Is that not so? So it means my demand is higher than my supply. I still have excess demand. That is what I want. What they give me is less than what I want. That's the meaning of quantity demand. I demanded for 80, but they only supply me what? 40. So it means I still have 40 left. That's why we call it excess demand. Now let's look at it here. When the price is 4,000 naira, the quantity demand is what? 60. So I demanded for 60, they supply me what? 60. Clifford, are you with us? In nature, are you with us? So it means I have zero excess. That is, they already meet my demand. What I demanded for is what they supply. That is QD equal to QS. Or you say QS equal to QD. That's why we have equilibrium. That is what I was explaining before. So equilibrium is a situation whereby quantity demand of a commodity is equal to quantity supply. That's what we call equilibrium. Now let's come to supply now. I demanded for 40, but they supply me what? 80. They supplied me what? 80. So I am having what? Excess supply. That is what they supply for me is more than what I demand. So in that situation, we have what? Excess supply. So excess supply is a situation whereby the quantity supply of a commodity is higher than the quantity demanded of that same what? Commodity. That is excess supply. Or you can express it in another way. You can say excess supply is a situation whereby the quantity demanded of a commodity is lower than the quantity supply of that same commodity. Please be taking note of all these things. Oh, please, as small as it is an exam question. Don't be surprised. Inechi, are you with us?
Yes.
All right. Now, when the quantity demand is 20 here, the quantity supply is what? 100. So it means quantity supply is higher than or greater than the quantity demand. It means we have excess supply. Now, here now, I didn't demand. That's why we have a 0 here. I did not demand, but they supply me what? 120. So it means my quantity supply is higher than the quantity demand. I have excess supply. That's how all these ones are in negative, all these ones are positive. So please take note of that. Any question on this?
No.
Can we move on? All right. So let's move on to the next slide. I think we have 3 slides to go. Now let's move on to application of demand and supply diagram. Now we want to combine the two together now. Applications of demand and supply diagram. Now, what are we talking about here? We are talking about price control. Price control. Now, who did I say determine the price and quantity demand of a commodity? Clifford. Who determined the price and quantity demand of a commodity? Who determines the price? Who? Hello? Who determines the price? Nechi? Who determines the
Consumers.
price? You said?
Consumers.
No. It's not the consumer. No. I said the price of commodity are determined by the forces of demand and supply. The forces of demand and so that is what? Price mechanism. Don't forget. Or you call it market mechanisms. And I told you that forces of demand and supply is the process by which the demand and the supply prices are what? Are determined by the what? By the market what? Participants. Please take note of all these things. Please, it's very important. It's very, very important. So what is price control? Whenever the forces of demand and supply are allowed to fix market prices of commodity in a competitive market, some of the prices may be unfairly high to buyers or unfairly low to sellers. Sometimes when prices of demand and supply, when they fix a price, those prices sometimes, that's why they say in some situation, some of those prices may be unfairly too high to the buyers or unfairly too low to the sellers. In such situation, the government, our government, may attempt to regulate. Government will now regulate the price, or they can limit the prices through what? Legislation. Through what? Legislation. So that is what we are saying is that sometimes when market demand and forces of demand and supply, when they fix price, so those prices sometimes may be unfairly too high for the people that want to buy, or maybe too low for people that want to sell. So if this situation occur, that is when the government will now come in. So how can government now come in? Governments are coming in because they now want to regulate. It's either they regulate that price or they limit that price. And how can they limit that price? They do so through what we call price legislation, or you call it price control. Price control or price legislation. So what is price control? Price control is a situation whereby government of a given country regulate the prices of commodities. Are you with me? Price control is a situation whereby the government of a given country regulates the price of commodities. So price control can either be in the form of what? Maximum price. It can be in the form of what? Maximum price. So maximum price is also called what? Price ceiling. Please be taking note of all these things while we are rounding up. Price ceiling is also the same thing as maximum price. Or we also have minimum price, which we call price floor. Which we call price what? Floor. Now, why are government doing this? There's a reason behind this. The reason why government are doing this is to prevent the market from moving to what? Equilibrium. And I think I've explained what equilibrium is to us before. In nature, what did I say equilibrium is? What did I say equilibrium is?
It's when the quantity demand is equals to the quantity supply.
You said? I didn't get that.
I said equilibrium is when the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supplied.
Okay, thank you. I get that now. So that is government is trying to prevent that. Government want to prevent, and how can government prevent that? So you see that government set maximum price and they also set minimum price. So what is maximum price? Maximum price control. Both price ceiling and price floor is a control put in place by the government. So a maximum price, or you call it price ceiling, is a legal price set below the equilibrium market price, above which a seller cannot charge for a product. So let me give you an example. Let's say that I'm government now. Please pay attention. Please, very important. Let's say I'm government now. In Echi, you are selling a product. Clifford is also selling a product. I am the government. So me as a government, I will say, okay, both Inechi and Clifford, if you want to sell, let me use petrol as an example. I like to use petrol. The two of you are selling petrol now. Me as a government, I will say 1 liter of petrol must not go beyond 500 naira per liter. That 500 naira that me I set as the government, my price ceiling as the government, that is the maximum. If Inechi now like, no problem, she can decide to be selling her own 1 liter of petrol at 100 naira. There is no problem. She can decide to sell it at 50 naira per liter. There is no problem. But the maximum price is 500. She must not sell it above 500 naira. That is meaning of price ceiling. That is the maximum price that you can sell. You can choose to sell below. Government will not query you. They will not hold you. In fact, there's no problem. In as much as it pays you, no problem. But you must not sell above. That is what we call maximum price. So maximum prices are normally set for essential goods, such as what? Pharmaceutical drugs or services such as house rental. When the maximum price is set for a good, it increases the quantity demanded, while the quantity supply decreases, thereby resulting in what? Excess demand or shortage. So the essence of government, after the reason why governments are doing price control is to ensure that we don't have what we call equilibrium. So you see that we can have excess demand, we can have excess supply, no problem. But government don't want us to have what we call equilibrium. They don't want the quantity and demand to be equal. That is what government is trying to control. And don't forget that it will affect one or the other. That is why I show us this table. Because if at this situation now, I'm having excess demand, it means this one now is affecting who? It's affecting who? The demand. Because they have not met my demand yet. I demanded for 120, but they have not supplied me. So it is affecting what? The consumer. This one is affecting the what? The supplier. I don't know if you are getting it now. So this equilibrium now is not affecting both of them. That is the difference. Now, if government now do what we call maximum price, what it means is that there will be what? There will be excess demand. Because what they are telling the supplier is that all of you, no matter what profit you want to make, you must not sell above 500. That is the meaning of maximum price. Is that clear? You will
Yes.
understand that more. You will understand that more. Now let's look at this graph. Look at this graph. We have price and we have quantity. We have price. So the persistent shortage created by price ceiling will in turn force the following problem. So what we are saying here is that the moment there is a maximum price, look at this place. So look at this place. This is the maximum price that you can sell. This is price. Look at it. We have demand. This is for demand, and this is for price. So the point at which these two meet is what we call equilibrium point. So let's move on to this now. So from the figure I just showed you now, the equilibrium price is what? Is OPE, which is the origin. That is, look at OPE here. This origin here. That's the equilibrium point. Are you with me? That's the maximum price level. So in summary, what I'm saying in summary is that the moment government fix a price ceiling, it is going to result in excess demand. Please take note. Please, whenever I'm saying take note, I'm begging you, don't joke with all these things. What will price ceiling lead to? Price ceiling will lead to what we call excess demand. And excess demand will favor the what? The consumer, which it will affect or it will not favor the supplier. Now, what are also the problems that price ceiling can cause? One of it is rationing. Government may have to apportion the quality supply of what? Of the first commodity among buyers who wants to consume greater amount of another commodity. So what we are saying is that the moment government do what we call price ceiling, it is going to affect more of the supplier. It is going to affect the what? The supplier more. That is what we are talking about. Another problem it will cause is queuing. It is queuing. So what is queuing? The moment a good is available. I don't know how I can explain this thing. Let's look at petrol, for example, now. I know I always like using petrol as an example because it is what is easy for us to understand. Now, why do you think we normally have long queue in the petrol filling station? Have you seen it? Have you experienced it before? Whereby you see people queuing at filling station that they want to buy fuel. You have a long queue. Why do you think we normally experience that? Why? Before I now answer it, why? Why do you think we normally have such situation? Okay. When we talk about queuing is a situation whereby that goods that those consumers want to buy is available. Because one thing you should know is that you will not see people queuing, people on a long queue, if it is not that thing they want to buy is available. When you go to finish, when you see people queuing, it means there is what? Petrol. It's not people are what? People are having fear that our price will increase or there will be scarcity. But as at that point where they are on queue, it means what they want to buy is available. And that queue is always what? A physical line at the supplier's what? Shop. At the supplier's what? Shop. So in a situation whereby government fixed maximum price, it will result in queuing too. That the government is telling the people that if you don't buy this thing now, these people may decide to stop selling because it does not favor them. That is why you go to some filling station, people will tell you that there's no fuel. Whereas they have what? Fuel. They don't want to sell. Why? Because they are waiting for when the price will what? When the price will what? Will go up so that they can sell. That is why you see people having fear of buying. There will be what? There will be fuel scarcity. They will tell you they don't have fuel, whereas they have enough fuel. But what they are waiting for is for the price to go up so that they can sell. Because at that time when people are rushing to buy, it means the price is going down. So they want to buy before the price will now go up. Then also another thing that price ceiling can cause is what? Black market. You all know what they call black market. What is black market? Black market means they are selling goods illegally. Most of this happen in filling station. They will tell you that how many liters do you want to buy? If you want to buy, let's say 10 liters of petrol, instead of them selling it for you at a normal price, they will sell it for you probably at cheap price. Shey you understand now? Instead of them using pumping machine to sell, you see them pouring it from one keg to the other. All of these are what? They are illegal way of selling product. And the price they will sell it, sometimes it is always higher. Sometimes it will be low, sometimes it is, most times it is always high than the normal price. 1 liter can be 900. You can see them selling their own at 1.5. This is what we call black market. So price ceiling can also cause this. Another one is selling at seller's preference. Sellers may choose several ways to sell their goods. They will sell it, let's say, first come, first serve. So it is first person that come that they will answer. And it will get the time they will tell you that they don't have anyone left again. So all of these are what price ceiling can cause. We also have what we call random allocation. Random allocation. This is selling by luck or chance. Selling by luck or chance. This may defeat the aim of setting the maximum price to ensure that the poor as well as the rich get the goods. Selling may go to all rich or all poor. So when we say random allocation, it means you are not looking at it that this person is rich, this person is poor. Your focus is to sell to everybody. So all of these are what price ceiling can result to. So having looked at all of this, any question, please be expecting an assignment on the group. So lately in the afternoon, I will drop a question. So I want you to, at your own leisure time during the week, so look at it. Then in our next class, I will now look at it together. So you will tell me your results. Then we'll compare it and I will now explain more on it. So any question so far? Any question so far?
No question.
Okay. How about Clifford? Clifford?
No questions.
Okay. So in the absence of no question, I think we can end the class. But please, in case I forgot, I think you're on the WhatsApp group, right? You are both on the WhatsApp group.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, please, Clifford, I want you to do me that favor. In case I forgot, probably in the afternoon, you can just help me to drop a reminder that the question I said I want to forward. I would have loved to do that now, but I'm having it on my other system. So please just remind me so that what are the question I said I want to drop, that I should drop it so I can drop it. So while you during the week, so you can just go through it. So what is your next class today, and when is it starting?
Accounting by 10:30.
Okay, so I think we can, let's just call it a day so you can prepare for the next class. So don't worry, like I always said, if in case there's any question, please don't hesitate to ask me on the platform. If you have any difficulty, just drop it on the platform. And like I always tell too, it is not only limited to economics. So if there's any other area you want me to assist you, maybe in other courses too, just let me know. I'm always ready to help. Please So don't say because I'm taking economics, if you come across anything in accounting, I know you have to tutor for it, but notwithstanding, we are all there to help you pass the exam easily. Just don't hesitate to let me know. So thank you and have a lovely weekend. So I wish you all the
Thank
best
you
in
very much.
your endeavor today. You're
Okay.
welcome. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.